Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Miles Edgeworth, Ace Attorney. Sorry for this awkward opening, but as you may remember from the end of last video, I accidentally went ahead and recorded a 2-hour video because I thought the trial would end any second now. So I ended up splitting the 2-hour video in half, and my commentary did not reflect this at all, so I'm having an impromptu beginning here. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in. Hope you'll enjoy the video. Carry on, past Zephyr. I'll ask again then, witness. What did you see on the night of the murder? I went to the shack at around 9, so it would have been around 10:30. Okay, so this is about 15 minutes before I hypothesized that the snowmobile arrived at the bridge and the fire was set. I was laying under my bedding when a white flash almost blinded me. Oh man. He's just sleeping, huh? I looked out the window and Dusky Bridge was on fire. Hold up. Lightning struck Dusky Bridge at 10:45. The event Larry is describing happened 15 minutes before 10:45. There was still some thunder, but I went right away to check it out. That's when I ran into Nick. You certainly saw quite a lot, didn't you? So, what happened to the bridge after it caught on fire? It was like me after a 3-day stint chasing a girl. It totally burnt out. Like, almost totally gone. I mean, trying to cross the burning remains was what caused Nick to fall. What did you say? Oh, don't worry. It's nothing life-threatening. He just caught a cold. I never know with that man if he should be called lucky or unlucky. It's nice that Franziska is showing genuine concern. Now, Mr. Edgeworth, please commence your cross-examination. But I saw part 2. I went to the shack at around 9, so it would have been around 10:30.
Hold it!
What did you do out there in the cold for an hour and a half? Well, if you really must know, I was busy being excited, I guess. Excited? Dare I even ask? I set the meeting time as 10 p.m., right? But I couldn't wait, and I thought she might come early, too. Well, it appears she didn't come at all in the end. Because they never arranged to meet in the first place, did they? Shut up! Don't go picking my fond memories apart. Anyway, I was getting a little worried. Thought maybe Iris had lost her way. So every 20 minutes or so, I went out to the bridge. But I didn't see anything particularly suspicious. I didn't have anything else to do, so I went back to the shack to wait for her. I was lying under my bed, and when I saw a white flash, almost blinded me.
Hold it!
This light was, of course, lightning. Like, kerpow! Like a slap from Naomi, honestly. A big bada boom. Ah! Or a little like that. That's more like a punch from Miranda. Witness, did you actually see the lightning hit the bridge? Well, I was a bit startled by the flash of light, so I looked out the window, and Dusky Bridge was on fire.
Hold it!
Seeing that, what did you do? What do you think? I was burning up as well, from the fire in my heart. And that's why you went to take a look at the bridge. Well, to be honest, it was freezing cold, so at first I thought, forget it, I'm not leaving my covers. But it had pretty much stopped snowing, so, I don't know, I changed my mind. stopped snowing, huh? I'm not sure I care for the forget-it attitude you had at first, witness. There was still some thunder, but I went right away to check it out.
Hold it!
You said right away, but exactly how long after the strike was that? The lightning fell, and then the bridge caught on fire, maybe around 5 minutes. I mean, I suddenly thought, gotta go check this out. How far is this small shack you were in from the bridge? Hold on, well, it had pretty much stopped snowing. I guess about a 5-minute walk. And how did Dusky Bridge look when you got there? Like I had recovered a piece of my childhood. I'm not gonna ask. You know what? I'm not gonna ask. I mean, not even the bonfires kids make during school camping trips can compare. Well, should I press him for a little more time, a little more info? Why did you go to the bridge? So you suddenly thought to check out the bridge. Does this mean that you initially had no intention of doing so? Well, yeah, I guess it does. It was really cold. I didn't really want to go out there. If that's the case, if you change your mind, I would like to hear your reasoning. In which case, please give testimony to that effect, witness. My reasoning? Okay, reasoning, is it? I thought I'd never get another chance to see something so big burning.
Hold it!
So you decided to go and see what was happening. That's right! We're talking about a massive suspension bridge burning to high heaven. That's not something you see every day. A real specule... like, really special? Can we really trust a witness who is unable to pronounce spectacle? Life seems to love hitting this poor witness below the belt. Well, my motto is to hit life back as hard as I can. Ah! I'll give you a few hits too if you'd like, with my whip. You told me about the burning bridge yesterday. There's still something that doesn't quite fit. So it looks like, despite his change of heart, Larry still isn't telling us the whole truth. Right. There's still some thunder. Now the weather report says the thunder... Yeah, the thunder happened... The thunder kept going on after 10:45, so that fits. I never get another chance to see something so big burning. Okay, do we say no, the bridge catching on fire happened at 10:45 here by presenting the weather info? But I don't know, this is his vague guess, and 10:45 is around about 10:30 like he says. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on this one. Maybe instead of trying to say, no, there wasn't thunder, I should try to contest the fact that he went right away to check it out. Can we prove that he stayed at the shack after it started burning? Yeah, the snowfall had stopped, right? Okay, let's press this and go for the other question real quick, just to make sure. Why didn't you call anyone? Larry, let me ask you one thing. What is it, Edgy? What's with the serious face? Why didn't you call anyone? Huh? What do you mean? Normally, when faced with a towering inferno, one would try and tell someone. There was a public phone right by Dusky Bridge, correct? Well, of course I thought of doing that. So then, let's hear why you didn't. Oh yeah, okay. I reason. It isn't that I didn't try to tell anyone, I just didn't have time to, okay? I arrived at the bridge and Nick showed up less than a minute later. So, lightning hit the bridge at 10:45. Larry took a 5-minute walk and arrived at the bridge at 10:50. And then Phoenix fell into the bridge at 11. This doesn't add up. I don't think this adds up. Where does it say that Phoenix fell into the bridge after 10:45? Or after 10:50? Why are Larry's statements so hard to find contradictions for? I just nailed everything Bikini said, but here I'm stumped. God damn it, Larry.
Hold it!
You claim to have arrived at the bridge at the same time as Wright. Yeah. I thought I'd better tell someone about this. But then Nick came up yelling about murder. It totally made me forget about the bridge. The fire was pretty much out by then, anyway. No, it was not. What's this feeling? I suddenly have a terrible case of unease. It was after contacting the police that Phoenix Wright fell from the bridge, correct? Yeah, that's pretty much it, more or less. Okay. I think this is it. I arrived at the bridge and Nick showed up less than a minute later. No, he did not, but what do we show to him? Let's see. 30 minutes passed between the fire starting and going out, so it went out at 11:15. Do you show the snowmobile? Oh, this sucks. I don't know what to do. Damn it. Why am I so stuck on these? I wonder how many of you are just screaming at me to do the thing. I can't quite work this out. I want to keep this going along. I'm kind of running close I'm kind of running up on my deadline of when I can expect to not be home alone so I can record anymore. So I'm not gonna. I need to just look this up to keep it moving. I'm sorry. Okay, apparently I show the weather data on this. I arrived at the bridge and Nick showed up less than a minute later. Really? That's what I do? Alright, let's just see where this goes. Maybe I'm just being really freaking dumb. Like Larry. Your very existence being a contradiction, I'm not sure if you can grasp this or not. What the hey, Hedgie? You make me sound like some sort of alien. But your testimony is conclusively contradictory. The problem here is time. I've never been the best timekeeper, you know. 3 minutes after Billy leaves on foot, you follow him on your bicycle. How long does it take for you to catch up with him? Terrible at those. This is much more simple. You saw the lightning strike Dusky Bridge, and immediately went to see what had happened. Is this correct? Yeah, well, I wasted about 5 minutes first, but more or less. You know what? I forgot to consider the amount of time that Phoenix would take to reach Dusky Bridge. Like, oh my god, yeah. Lightning struck the bridge at 10:45. Larry took a 5-minute walk to get up there. And he says Phoenix arrived a minute after. But around the time the lightning struck, Phoenix, at best, even if Phoenix left at 10:45, exactly, which I'm pretty sure he didn't, he left somewhere around 11, he would have had to take 15 minutes to run from Hazakura Temple to the bridge. Meaning Larry got at the bridge at 10:50, and Phoenix got to the bridge at somewhere between 11 and 11:15. There's no way it matches up. There's just no way. Right, okay, I understand now. I have the weather data from the night of the murder here. According to this, the lightning fell at 10:45 p.m. You say it takes less than 5 minutes from the shack to Dusky Bridge? Meaning you probably got there at around 11. Oh. That's all sounds about right, I guess. And then Nick showed up and did his falling act. That is impossible. What do you mean? 11 p.m. is when the murder occurred in Hazakura Temple. Thus, Wright was still there in the courtyard. There is no way that Larry could have encountered him at Dusky Bridge at that time. Huh? Excuse me. I have an objection. You do? Edgy, how many times do I have to say this? I'm not Larry. I'm Laurice Deuxnim. It has not been proven that the murder occurred at 11 p.m. The sister only said around 11, in which case it could have been earlier than that. Watch your footing there, Miss Franziska von Karma. The slope ahead is slippery. For there's still no way that Wright could have been at Dusky Bridge at 11 p.m. And why not? It is clearly written here in the weather data report. It took around 30 minutes for the bridge to burn out. Therefore, the bridge must have been burning until at least 11:15 p.m. Which means, what exactly? Wright did not see the bridge while it was being consumed by the flames that night. What? In fact, he did not arrive on the scene until after the flames had died down. What? I consider that to be on fire! Okay, I always thought that image represented the inferno, but okay, I guess that's like the burning, charred cinders left behind. Fine. Well, okay, I guess this falls to my complete misconception of what this was. Larry, you arrived at the bridge at 11 p.m., but Wright did not make it there until at least 11:15. I suggest you stop hiding things and just tell us the whole truth. Now, then. What happened during these missing 15 minutes? I feel like I just got brutally woken up by toilet splashback. Poseidon's kiss. I know it well. I guess I was still... Oh. I didn't get to read that. I guess I was still sleeping or something. So there was a missing 15 minutes prior to meeting Phoenix Wright. I hardly see that as much of a problem. Yeah, not much of a problem at all. Really? The bridge is burning before your eyes, and there is a phone right next to it. Why, then, did you not report the accident? Yes, witness. Why didn't you? You were there simply to watch the bridge burn. And therein lies the problem. For even after the bridge had burnt out, he was still there. Staring into space, this witness didn't even attempt to fulfill his civic duty. That's what it sounds like. But this is Larry we are talking about, and even he is incapable of being so stupid. Which means there has to be a reason for his inaction. Edgy. I think it's about time I got serious with you, dude. Just as I thought, you've been playing with us all this time. Listen, I'm going to tell you everything. Are you sure you want to hear it all? Yes. I may really say it this time. Ah! Then say it. Very well. I have a terribly bad feeling about this, however. Let's have the witness finally give us the whole truth. Now, for this 15-minute gap, what were you doing, witness? Oh god, this better be good. I'm a Deuxnim. I'm an artist. What do you think I was doing? Sketching. In front of the bridge. I was whipped up into a frenzy of art. The shock and awe that I was feeling, I transferred it all directly onto the page. Can we see the sketch? That might be important evidence. Before I realized it, flames had gone out and then he came running up. I suppose artists can be strange folk. That's right. I'm willing to sacrifice everything in order to draw the perfect sketch. Including the truth, from the sound of it. Mr. Edgeworth, has this removed the last of your doubts? Not at all, Your Honor. One very large doubt still remains. And what would that be? This is a surprisingly believable story, especially considering the source. So why did he think he needed to hide it from us until now? I intend to drag the reason out of him. You'll regret this, Edgy. Can we see the sketch? I want to see the sketch. I'm a Deuxnim. I'm an artist. What you think I was doing?
Hold it!
Tell us, Larry. My name is Laurice. Get it right. Mistakes like that are what keep you from being popular with the ladies like I am. Just who exactly are you? I'm Laurice Deuxnim, apprentice extraordinaire. That's what he calls himself, in any case. Then you are an artist? Of course, I'm an artist, the real thing. Yet again, that's what he calls himself. Names mean nothing. There is only one issue I care to discuss. What were you doing? It is a very big issue indeed. Sketching in front of the bridge. I was whipped up into a frenzy of art.
Hold it!
Sketching? The burned bridge. The burned bridge and everything that came with it. Everything that came with it? What? came with it? You want to hear this from my lips, do you, Edgy? You'll regret this. That sketch... Ah! Enough. Just take that ridiculous sketch of yours out already, witness. What are you talking about? I don't know what you mean.
That does indeed appear to be the fastest solution. I'll leave it to you, Mr. Edgeworth.
What should I do? I've got a terrible feeling about the instant the sketch is revealed. The entire world may be changed by what is depicted there. I want to see it. I want to see it. I gotta see it. I've gotta see how bad it is. Larry, I wonder if you could show us your sketch, please? Well, even I couldn't have imagined it to turn out like this. Imagined what? That Laurice Deuxnim's debut would take place here today like this. Ouch! Show it now? Okay, but steel yourselves. This is the world of Laurice Deuxnim. What? What is that?
Oh, so that's very colorful. Well, so this is Dusky Bridge, correct? Quite a large bridge, isn't it? Your response, Miss Von Karma?
Yes, well, it's a better drawing than I expected. Isn't it? Isn't it? I struggled to reproduce those flames, I really did.
Yes, I'm sure you did.
This is going to get ugly. No one has the courage to bring it up, it seems. This mysterious flying object. Larry? What? The burning bridge is fine. But what is that unfortunate-looking figure? You spotted that? I thought you might. However much I might want to ignore it, I can't. It's Iris, of course. Iris. I wish she'd better take care of herself. We have to plan for her future, you know. What would have happened to her if she had just injured herself flying like that? She flew? Oh my god. Is the snowmobile jump a real thing? For the love of God. Larry, please, answer this next question honestly. Okay. Are you really claiming to have seen this? Are you claiming to have seen the silhouette of the defendant flying over a bridge that was engulfed in flames? Yep, that's what I saw. That's why I drew it. I'm an artist. A real artist. Are you?
Hi! That girl, she's really high up in this picture.
Are you high? I love that. Oh, Larry.
Ah! What was that for?
This is all a bad dream. I was hitting you on the cheek to test that theory.
Please whip your own cheek from now on if you wish to test your wild theories.
Actually, Miss Francisca, I would be much obliged if you could whip my cheeks.
Anyway, no court of law will ever acknowledge that people can fly.
Actually, there is some precedent for this. She was flying pretty high, my sweet Iris. She was about 30 feet above the bridge, at least. It was really something to see.
This has to be some kind of mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, please bring the witness back down to earth.
What? Me?
This witness is your friend, is he not?
Accessory to foolishness, Miles Edgeworth.
Let us get back to the cross-examination, by force if necessary. Mr. Edgeworth, I expect you to expose the obvious contradictions here.
Yes, Your Honor. Looks like I've got another reason to remember this moron. Well, what do you think of my debut piece?
Get that thing away from me.
Horrible sketch.
Now, hurry up and cross-examine him.
Okay. I saw Iris flying, her white hood fluttering. Excuse me?
Hold it!
Just where did you see the sight from? Hey, no need to shout. When I was lying in bed, that rundown shack, the crack of the lightning bolt made me realize that the bridge was burning. I just watched it for a while from there, thinking how nicely it was burning. Then after about 5 minutes, I saw it. The defendant flying? That's right. That's when I decided to go to the bridge.
I see. That all makes sense. Aside from the sketch itself...
Yes, the sketch doesn't make any sense. Just need to convince the artist that his work is ludicrous. Her white hood fluttering, but Iris did not have her hood. Now, do we show Iris's hood, or do we show, yeah, I think we just show the hood.
Objection!
Yep. Larry, what did you really see that night? Not that I particularly care. In your position, that's just being irresponsible. I drew exactly what I saw. I'll give you a whole $1 that it's the truth. If that is truly the case, then there is one thing that we can say for certain.
What might that be?
That the person who flew over the bridge could not have been the defendant, Iris. Well, what? What do you mean? I don't understand. Ah! A foolhardy folly of a foolish statement by an equally foolish, foolhardy fool. How exactly can you make this claim? Tell us, Larry. According to this picture, the individual whom you say you saw was wearing a hood, correct? Of course she was. That rundown shack is quite away from the bridge. The hood is what told me that this floating angel was my Iris. The hood is my darling Iris, and Iris is my darling hood. Hold on a second. So, considering that this is... Let's assume this is Larry's perspective. So, Larry was at the palace or whatever, which is north from the bridge. So when he was looking at the bridge, he was looking south, which means Iris was flying to the left, which means it was from the Hazakura temple side to the inner temple side. And I feel like that is extremely important information. Ah! It seems there are bigger fools in this world than the one at the defense's bench. Larry, there's something you need to be made aware of. On the night of the murder, Iris wasn't wearing her hood. She had given it to Wright as a gift. Are you going to change your story now? Perhaps suggest it was Wright who took flight? What are you talking about? I think you understand what I mean just fine. Why? Why did Nick have Iris's hood? I knew that was coming. What? Edgy! What's going on with Iris and Nick? Why you, Nick? You dog!
I do believe that this unbelievably mysterious sketch is destined to disappear, discredited and discarded. Straight into the garbage. Not even fit for the fridge.
What is it now, witness?
It feels like I've been waiting 25 years for this very day to come. Edgy, today is the day I get to completely stupefy you.
Oh, what?
What is the meaning of your outburst, witness?
I hate to have to do this, but I have some definitive evidence. Definitive evidence?
Iris did indeed come flying over the burning bridge. And I, Laurice Deuxnim, shall prove it. I didn't expect to ask this again, but we shall be needing your testimony once again. Tell us anything you know concerning the defendant as depicted in this sketch, and show us your evidence that this nightmare was actually a reality.
Okay. I hope you're ready, Reggie. Reggie. I hope you're ready, Edgy, because I'm going to feed you a whopping serving of pain. You've been serving us a whopping serving of pain this whole time. Trust me.
It continues.
When I reached Dusky Bridge, she was already gone. I was so worried, so I frantically searched all over for her. That led me to finding a beautiful crystal sphere half buried in the snow. Oh, baby. I'm sure that Iris was simply wearing a spare hood. After all, no one else could have lost a crystal sphere that night.
A crystal sphere?
This one. Pretty, isn't it? But finders keepers. That sphere. Where did you find it? Let me see. Around here somewhere. Looks about right. And it was half buried in the snow. It had pretty much stopped snowing by then. But there was still some falling as I walked to the bridge.
The court accepts this crystal sphere.
That's mine, okay? I want it back afterward.
There is something on it. Oh my, it's blood.
What? Blood?
I think we're in for an easy one here, boys.
You ready, Edgy? Or tomorrow morning you'll be calling me Master Larry.
What happened to Laurice?
Yeah, I like the sound of that. No one's going to push me around anymore. Didn't you want to be called Laurice Deuxnim only a few minutes ago?
Alright.
When I reached Dusky Bridge, she was already gone. I was so worried, so I frantically searched all over for her. That led me to find a beautiful crystal sphere half buried in snow. I'm sure that Iris was simply wearing a spare hood. After all, no one else could have lost a crystal sphere that night. Let's press this. Let me confirm this one last time, Larry. The reasons you thought this was Iris are the hood and this crystal sphere, correct? That's right. My gut is never wrong. I met that old bikini the next morning, and the crystal sphere was still there, safe and sound.
Indeed. She was wearing it in this very room earlier today.
This case isn't going to end without a fight. Right. After all, no one else could have lost a crystal sphere that night. We're just gonna show Elise's profile here.
Objection!
There we go. Larry, that night, there was someone. Someone who lost a crystal sphere. There was? Who? Who was this stupid idiot? Miss Elise Deuxnim, the mentor to a stupid idiot. The victim? I have a photo of her here. And on the end of her staff, you can see a familiar-looking crystal sphere. Hey, that's my photograph. Give it back. Ouch.
A crystal sphere like that is quite easy to find. I have one just like it on my brooch. They look nothing alike. In any case, please take a look at this. This is the victim's staff found at the scene of the crime.
Oh, a crystal sphere. It's gone.
Ooh. What? 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 What?
Boy, my throat's hurting. Just what does this mean?
If anyone jumped or flew across the bridge that night, it certainly was not Iris, after all. She was not wearing her hood. More importantly, the crystal sphere found at the landing site was not hers either.
Landing site, you say? No, that's not right at all. Unless she was like flying backwards. That means the one who flew and dropped the spear was the victim, Miss Laurice Deuxnim.
A fool alongside another fool, on a fool's errand to reach a foolish conclusion. First of all, this sketch, which I prefer to call a scribble, is ridiculous. People cannot fly, thus it is rejected. You can't do that! Ah! And this crystal sphere, this is nothing more than a red herring. You honestly believe that? Give it some thought and I'm sure you'll realize it as well, Miles Edgeworth. Laurice Deuxnim was in her room on the night of the murder. There was no reason for her to go to Dusky Bridge. Therefore, this sphere cannot be related to this case. That is all. Miss Franziska von Karma, the only people who will accept that explanation are scatterbrains and clowns. Why are you pointing to me? The victim's crystal sphere was found near the bridge on the night of her murder. Yet you expect us to believe this has nothing to do with the case? That crystal sphere, it was probably thrown away at the bridge after the murder.
After the murder?
There is blood on the crystal sphere, isn't there? This naturally suggests that it was thrown away after the murder took place. The killer placed it there to throw the investigation off the scent, which is the exact same reason that he drew that ridiculous sketch. What? You mean I'm the killer? Ah! All joking aside, just when did this crystal sphere appear near the foot of the bridge? Unless this case can be proven, in some way, I refuse to believe this is related to the case. She makes a valid point. There is no evidence that Laurice Deuxnim left Hazakura Temple that night. However, if somehow this crystal sphere can be proven to have been dropped before the victim was killed, then this case is going to transform into something else entirely.
Your response, Mr. Edgeworth? I want your final opinion on the disposition of this crystal sphere. If it is not related to this case, then this witness who you called will have been nothing more than a monumental waste of time.
Prepare yourself for some very appropriate punishment, Miles Edgeworth. Can I prove it? Can I prove that the crystal sphere was dropped before the murder took place?
Well, maybe I can prove it if I was given enough time, like another investigation phase.
I feel like if I say, yes, I can, then, if I say, yes, I can, I might have to prove it right then and there. But if I say no, maybe Edgeworth would just say, if I was given enough time?
staff's not even in this photo. Dang it. I don't think I can. No, it's impossible. I want to say that. No matter how I look at it, it's not possible. It is certainly strange that the crystal sphere was found near the bridge, but perhaps it is just a curveball from a killer. Well, well, Miles Edgeworth seems to have nothing further to say. Then I am left with no choice. The court sees no reason. What is this? Hey, Edgy, you're a defense attorney, aren't you? If it was Nick standing where you are right now... If it was Nick, do you think he'd give up? No, he'd find the truth no matter what it took, no matter how crazy it seemed. Right. At this moment, I'm standing where you should be. Which means there's only one thing to do. Think like you. Your Honor, allow me to prove something to you. I will prove that this crystal sphere is a vital link to solving this case. You will do what? That look in your eyes. You remind me of Phoenix Wright when he is cornered. That should come as no surprise. Because right now, I am Phoenix Wright, and I am indeed cornered. I order you to present your evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Evidence that proves that the crystal sphere was indeed dropped before the murder. The staff has Elise's fingerprints on it? Okay, I'm running really close on the clock here. I can't spend the time to look this out, to think this out. I need to look it up. I'm sorry. This marks 3 times in one video, but damn it, I have very limited time here. Okay, apparently I present the crystal sphere here. And that gave me a bolt of inspiration. What if Elise... Okay, it says to press to show the crystal sphere, so I will.
Take that!
This crystal sphere, it was half buried in the snow, correct? Which means it was placed there, it was dropped there before it ended snowing. And Elise apparently died after the snow had stopped. Meaning she was killed there near the bridge? That's right. If it hadn't stopped snowing then, it would have been game over. The snow would have totally covered it. That's all I needed to hear from you, Larry. Your testimony makes one thing quite clear. What? When the crystal sphere was dropped, it was snowing, even if it was ever so slightly. Snowing? On the other hand, let us look at the scene of the murder. As proven earlier today, there is no snow on the victim's body. Oh. Therefore, the crystal sphere must have been dropped before the murder. What? Order! On the night of the murder, the victim did indeed go to Dusky Bridge. And there,
something occurred that caused the staff's crystal sphere to come loose.
What could have that been?
This sphere, there's some blood on it, isn't there?
Uh-oh. Okay, right, so you may have just noticed a little jump cut right there. That's because, well, I noticed that my garage door was opening, which meant I was about to be not home alone anymore very soon. So that meant I had to hurriedly stop recording. For me, it's been a full day since the contents of the video that you're watching right now. For you, it's just been like a second, but yeah. Yeah, let's just pick this right back up where we left off. Where I left off, actually. What were we doing? I think we were in the middle of proving that Laurice Deuxnim was probably not murdered at the courtyard, right?
Allow me to raise a certain possibility at this junction. The real crime scene was near the foot of Dusky Bridge. The murder didn't take place in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. Only a fool would suggest such a foolish piece of absolute foolishness. Just who is the fool? And which part is so foolish, Miss Von Karma? Have you been paying any attention this whole time, Miles Edgeworth? The sister saw everything. She saw the victim being killed by the defendant in the Hazakura Temple courtyard.
Objection!
That's not exactly true, now is it? To put it more precisely, what she saw was the murder weapon being removed from the victim's body. That's the same thing. No, it isn't. You said it yourself. Very little blood is actually lost at the moment of a blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed. If that statement is the truth, then Dusky Bridge could very easily be the scene of the murder. The murder weapon was not removed, thus there was no bleeding. You are forgetting one vital thing, Miles Edgeworth. Laurice Deuxnim's body was found in Hazakura Temple. On foot, it takes 15 minutes to travel from Dusky Bridge to Hazakura Temple. You mean to suggest someone carried the body all that way?
I probably took the snowmobile, right?
I've made it this far. The only place to take this is to the end. Just need to prove that my version of the events is also perfectly plausible.
Right, you don't need to prove it, you just need to prove that it could have happened. Now, if the defense is ready, the court would like to have an explanation. Please show us the method by which the victim's body was carried to Hazakura Temple. Well, out of all the evidence, the only thing that is remotely close to being something that could aid in carrying someone would be the tracks. It has to be this, right?
Take that!
Gulp.
On that snowy night, there is one way that a body could have been moved. The snowmobile. Ah. As we know, the snowmobile was used that night. It was explained as having been used to dispose of the murder weapon, but it could also have been used to carry a body.
Order, or ah!
This is completely unacceptable, Miles Edgeworth. You've dug yourself into your own grave. What do you mean? The only one who could have used the snowmobile was the defendant. She is the one who moved the body. Doesn't that put the final nail in your coffin?
You're too late, Franziska von Karma. And in fact, the defense has proven something else entirely. We have shown that this case requires further investigation.
Oh, what?
Where was the victim, Laurice Deuxnim, really killed? If her body was moved, whatever for? And finally, just what does this image mean?
Do you even need to think about that? Such a creature could never see the truth, let alone describe it.
Objection!
He's just smiling vacantly. This witness certainly sits on one of the lowest possible branches of humanity. I will never get tired of when characters kick the butt monkey. However, he would never utter a lie that could hurt a girl with whom he is enamored. He drew this, so it is something that actually happened. The defense stands firm on this point. Edgy, thank you. That settles it then. I cannot give a verdict under these circumstances. Right. I seem to have fulfilled my part in this. It is just as I thought. Franziska von Karma, you make a wonderful partner.
Excuse me?
There was one reason, and one alone, for me being here. To expose the darkness lurking in this case, and then pass it on to Wright. Really? That's what this was all about? You could have just told me that from the very beginning. Then I wouldn't have had Frenzy whipping me at all.
Miles Edgeworth, I don't care about what you are here to do. This is my chance to finally grind you under my heel.
Wow. A shame that your chance seems to have slipped you by. What a
This is all your fault. Such a terrible witness.
You... Oh. I didn't get to read that. Poor Larry. I'll catch what that said later. I cannot believe that the witness's testimony relates to an actual event. However, there has to be some sort of answer for the questions it raises. Have his words here today been the truth or lies? Next time we gather in this courtroom, those are the matters that shall be addressed. I am counting on thorough investigations by both the defense and the prosecution. And with this, the rest is up to you, Wright. Court is now adjourned. We did it, boys! Yeah, so... I guess in a sense my rash and hurried immediate instincts to just go look up the things I was truly stumped about instead of randomly guessing like I usually do was worth it because, yeah, I was running against the clock there and I didn't even get to finish this video in time, so there you go.
Yes! Hottie Clinic!
I'm still up at this hour, reading through the trial record of a certain case. It's the first case of my mentor, Mia Fey, had ever handled in a court of law. See, I knew it, I told you. I told you, Phoenix in the hospital bed, looking up the info on the fourth case of this game, was an event that would happen in the future. I knew it. That was my gut feeling. The horrifying truth that I refuse to accept is holding me hostage here within its pages. Dahlia Hawthorne. What I have read, I don't want to believe. What is written here, this isn't the Dahlia I knew. After falling into Eagle River, I was somehow miraculously saved. But I ended up catching a cold that seemed to knock me around the world and back. I feel dizzy and my ears are ringing, my throat burns and my head is on fire. But I will recover. I have to recover by this afternoon. I have to meet with the most ill-tempered witness imaginable. I know that he will be able to help me with him. Somehow. February 9th. Right. Are you sure you're well enough to be doing this? Alright, I think that's gonna put it end it here. This was very awkward to me because as of today I have only been recording for like less than 10 minutes now. But yeah, this is the end of the video, in fact. The full 1 hour long video. Or was it 2 hours? Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I think this video is actually gonna be 2 hours long. I'm probably gonna make some afterwards edits and just split the 2 hour long video in two because I thought this court session would be shorter than it ended up being. Well, yeah, lots of interesting stuff going on at court. Bikini's fun. Larry is a trip and a half. And, man, so if Elise was out here when she was killed, why did she come out here in the first place? Was she on her way to go visit Maya? Like, if Elise really is Misty Faye, or even Morgan Faye, I don't know anymore. No, it's probably Misty. Come on, we all know she's Misty. It has to be Misty at this point. Why not? Yeah, she'd probably want to visit Maya to just talk to her. Maybe, like, peep on her spirit training or whatever. To be like, yeah, that's my girl, following my footsteps and junk. Yeah, that's cool. But that raises the question of, why was she murdered at that point? What possible motive could there be from anyone here to kill Elise? That's what baffles me. I sincerely do not know. Like, unless for somehow Iris or Dahlia, whoever Iris really is, mistook Elise for being Maya? Not Maya, Mia. Mia Faye. Because Mia was all up in Dahlia's grill, sentencing her to prison and all that. It's just so confusing. I don't know what to think. There's so many mysteries here, but I am sure that this case will stick the landing. Well, I will say it's been great to play as Edgeworth, and now the baton has been passed back to Phoenix Wright. Well, I guess we can talk more about this next time, so I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been Miles Edgeworth, Ace Attorney, for the final time. Until I Let's Play Miles Edgeworth Investigations 1 and 2. Until then, yeah. Yeah, I think those were the names of those games. I know Edgeworth has 2 of his own games. I've heard that, and that really excites me. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. Thank you, goodbye. See you next time. Hope catch you later.